Hey Rhinos, Dr. FJ, Susan Schofield here. Gonna do a quick one for you. Hope everyone's doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing fabulous.
Right on.
The young man comes home today.
Nice.
So you'll be having some fun in another week.
Yeah, there we go.
All righty.
Uh, So, what did you want to chat about?
I'd like to chat this morning about being efficient with your time and doing the right tasks at the right time. Because a
Hmm.
lot of offices, both doctors and staff, the work that they're doing is right. The tasks that they're doing are right, but lots of times it's done at the wrong time. And then it either stresses the front desk out or it stresses the doctor out. So it's
Sure.
planning your week, both in the office, but especially your downtime when you're not seeing patients.
Yeah, I mean, this is a thing that's always in balance. And I mean, the biggest thing is just to prioritize what are the most important things to get done. And then being self-awareness, if is huge. What are you good at? What are you not good at? And
I
sometimes
think
you just
I
go
think
ahead.
that's really important too, Dr. FJ, because that was something that Dr. Fred did really well with delegation. And he would say, okay, as a doctor, this is what I can produce per half hour, per hour, but I can delegate this to somebody else so I can be more efficient.
Yeah, and that's another thing is there's obviously laws, right? Not everyone can adjust. So that's something that the doctor has to do. And in some states, the CAs can take x-rays with training. Some states they don't even need any training as long as the doctor's in. So there's state laws there. Um, but yeah, figuring out what are you good at, what are you not good at. If you're not good at it, okay, sometimes in the beginning you just have to do it. There's no way around it. You just gotta, you gotta knuckle up, rhino up, and just get it done. Um, but then as you build your team, you want to bring people on to do the things you're not good at, and letting that go, or you outsource it, right? You hire a company to edit videos for you, or you use AI or whatever it is. Um, Sometimes maybe you get an intern. I have a doctor in Orange County I'm working with, and I've been working with him for a few years now, and he's crushing. I mean, he's literally almost tripled his collections in 2 years, and a big part of that is bringing, one, delegating or bringing people on to do the things he's not good at. There's a chiropractic school not far from him, so he brings on interns to do some things. He hired a company to edit videos for him. Um, and then it's also not killing time doing things, avoiding the things you got to do, like call the patient when you got to call the patient, whether you like it or not. There's some things where you just have to do them. If you got to sit down and talk to an employee, you sit down and talk to them. If you got to talk to your patient, you talk, you do the things you have to do, irregardless of how you feel. But then you have to figure out what you're good at, what you're not good at, and really leverage as best you can the things you're good at.
When do you typically do your planning for the week? Because I know the planners that we have really help keep you organized each day, but you got to use them. So when do you plan your week?
Yeah, you got to use them. I like to look at, Fridays. I like to, as I'm going through the week, right? Tuesdays and Thursdays are really my days to get things done. And then Mondays, Wednesdays, I'm adjusting people pretty much all day. I do have some time over lunch if I want to do stuff, but I try to keep that pretty free. I want to work out. I want to rest a little bit, and that's not do too much other stuff.
When do
But
you
if
and
we do have
Corey,
something that has to get done, I do have some time then. Sorry, go ahead.
when do you and Corey meet to go over, like what are the kids doing and what are we going to have for lunch or dinner? Or because I know typically Dr. Fred and I would meet on Sunday evenings after all you guys went to bed, and we would take a half an hour and say, okay, the kids have this, this, and this week. You
Yeah,
know,
Sundays we do that. I mean, the kids
okay.
schedule, groceries, the menu for the week. We do that Sundays. And then I like to look over my schedule typically for the week Sunday night. But as I'm going through the week, like if
Hmm.
something I haven't gotten done that I know it's like, all right, that's gonna go to next week. And then I'll cross off what gets done. And then my Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have things pretty regimented with what I want to do, when I want to do it, how long I have to do it. And then there's the work, and then there's hobbies. I'll try to, if I can get in and do jujitsu or golf, I'll do that. Sometimes, it's just I don't get in and get that done. It's just there's work to be done in the office. So
When do you guys plan your downtime, like your family vacations? Because I know between the planner and then the year to glance calendar, I use that year to glance calendar all the time to
yeah.
remember
Yeah,
stuff.
well, we always do spring break, so we just wait for whenever that, and we have that planned. We always do a week in July. That's planned out as soon as we know when the house is available. We typically do Boji with you guys, then we do Thanksgiving, and those are our week off trips usually. And then I try to have a long weekend every 4 to 6 weeks. And usually when one's done, we look at planning the other one. Um, so those are all done uh, pretty far in advance. 6 weeks. And I always tell people, you wanna, when you're done with the vacation, you usually want to have the next one planned. Uh, and it's really important to have that time off planned in, really, really
Mhm.
important, way ahead of time. So you know it's coming. Your team can then prepare for it. Everything's good about it, and you're not, because if you don't do it, next thing you know, a lot of times it's been 10 months and you haven't taken a day off. So having that planned, months and months in advance. And as your kids get older, their schedules sometimes dictate that. It was something that was different years ago. Like a lot of times when the kids were little, we'd have it planned out like a year in advance. We kind of
Mhm.
bing, bing, bing. But now lots of times you're waiting to see when's their soccer schedule, when's their baseball schedule, um, and those kind of things. So that that evolves a little bit. Um,
Creativity.
well, you just lose you got to work around your kid's schedule a little bit with that. But yeah, and being in advance, but I mean, time management is huge. It's energy management. It's take, and we talked a lot about this last time, but don't waste time staying up on your phone or watching shows. And I like shows better than the phone because obviously shows end.
Mm,
Um,
good point.
and there's no algorithm there, that shows although Netflix now it used to be like 30 seconds before the next show kicked on, now it's like three. And that
They
next
hook
show is
you
ready to
in.
roll. Yeah. But at least they end if you're gonna show or reading. But yeah, really prioritizing, like we talked a little bit of that last time, but prioritizing what are the one or two major things you want to get done today. And that's where lots of times a coach can help, is unless you're highly, highly self-aware and highly, highly self-driven, lots of times you may be trying to do things you aren't good at, or you're hiding from things. And that's a big thing with that same doc that was in Orange County. It was like just talking to him and like, this is what you got to do. This is what you got to do. And it helping move into that, level of discomfort. And so that's where lots of time, and it doesn't have to be a coach, it could be a group, whatever, but that is helpful. Is just pushing yourself into those little areas of discomfort. And the more you can ritualize or routine, it becomes easier and easier. Uh, like Monday, Wednesdays, I have my at least an hour and a half. So I'm gonna exercise, eat something healthy, you know, non-sleep deep rest basically for 15, 20, 25 minutes, and it's back to work. Then Tuesdays, Thursdays, you meet with the team, you go through this, you create your content, you go through, and it just gets easier too as you have people on your team. But it's all, and then you're kind of watching them, who's doing what, how are they doing, Um, and I would say that's the thing. Team meetings, lots of times when people quit doing them. But
They're
there's
so
just,
important, though.
yeah, super important. And then meeting with people one on one too. I was just thinking like I need to do that a little bit, just seeing where everyone's at. Really important. And sometimes it's just a couple minutes. There's nothing really to cover, but you just all those little things are so important to do. Uh,
I have a
and
quick question for you. How do you handle this? Is a question that I get a lot with the watches, the Apple watches and the phones,
yeah,
because those can be really focus robbing and energy robbing.
yeah,
How do you handle your staff with that?
yeah. I mean, we have a little kitchen in back, and they have to put their phones back there. Their watches, I haven't had an issue with that, but if it is, then that's got to go away too.
Okay.
Um, but they can't have their phones at the front desk. They can't have, you got to put all that away. Um, and that is right now, my team is, they're not old. They're a little bit, that was more when I had, if you have high schoolers
Yeah,
or,
tougher.
or younger people in their 20s, that tends to be more of an issue where it's like, okay, the phone, we have a kitchen right in the front, the phone goes in there. You can check it. I don't have a problem with it. Outside of adjusting hours, you can check it once an hour. If there's something really serious going on, if someone's having surgery, well, that's different. That's fine. But for the most part, yeah, put it away.
Is that what
And
you do for yourself as well?
yeah, I have a little desk. I just put it in there. And then if I need to grab it to check the schedule or something, I can do that. I have my, the schedule is all digital on this app, so I can check that. Um, and two, if I want to grab a testimonial from a patient, I'll go grab it. But yeah, I put it in the desk, I put it away. And they've shown studies on this. The further away your phone is, the better your focus. And so I think definitely, and then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, putting it away for an hour, hour and a half, and doing whatever work you need to do, is super important. Super,
Mhm.
super important for everybody. Um, but I have, yeah, I mean that's gonna be, but you got to put it away. You can't have it. They can't be checking notifications every 5 minutes because it's just gonna be very distracted. So we have just they leave it in the kitchen. And since we've been doing that, it has been an issue. It was an issue years ago, and that's why I created it because I had a girl, a really nice girl, but she was always every time I went to the front, she was checking her phone, like in the middle of adjusting hours, like always. Young girl, like back then, she was like 19. So then we created a rule, you cannot be on you. You put it in the back, you put it away. You can check it once an hour, but the phone is not on you. And it just really, yeah. And that's going to be, I think, that's huge for everybody is that phone discipline because it is amazing, right? You could put a video up and from your phone and a million people see it. Like it's unbelievable what can be done, but you got to discipline it. And then again, prioritize and then go do it. You sound like I sound like a broken record, but prioritize what are the one, two, three things that highest, most important things that need to get done. And that's where you got to help your team too, lots of times is like, okay, yeah, the blog is important, but we don't want to spend 2 hours on it making it as pretty as possible. That's not the highest, most important thing that needs to get done here. It's more important to make sure we're editing videos and getting content put out as well. So helping your team prioritize what they're doing is also helpful especially when they're joining you in the beginning,
Well,
is very, very helpful.
that's something that I'm assuming that you cover in staff meetings too.
Yeah, staff meetings when they're onboarding, and then also just that's why meeting with them one on one and kind of just going through what they're doing. What do they like? What do they not like about what they do? And it's like, okay, if you don't like it, maybe eventually we can have someone else do it, but you may still have to do it for a while. But it's good to just know that stuff. And then yeah, helping them know like, yeah, we got to get the insurance verified because they're coming back in tomorrow. So that's a priority. Whereas other things, maybe we can wait a few days and then get that done. So understanding those different things is important for them. But for
So,
yeah,
what would you say are your recommendations for helping with doing the right things at the right time, time management? What are the top three things you would say has helped you or that you would recommend to somebody else?
Calendar, using your calendar, whatever, some kind of planner, writing it down. It's big. Setting aside a certain amount of time, um, and for it, the task, whatever it is, and so give yourself like if you're gonna write a blog or some or whatever it is, setting down like a so you it's almost like a clock, and then it's like the test is tomorrow, so you study that kind of thing. So creating a bit of urgency. So calendar, um, and then having a checklist is really nice of just boom, 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 boom. Okay, we got it done, and then you move on, and then it's not all in your head. But calendar, write it down, set aside time and then yeah, a checklist of just the basic things that have to get done um are really, really nice for yourself and for your team.
One of the things that we've done with our checklist for our team is we have a top three priority for each day,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
we
that's nice.
we start with that, and sometimes it gets switched to the next day, depending on your day and patient flow and new patients and that kind of thing. But we do that with our daily checklist for everybody. And they get to choose that. I mean, it depends on their responsibilities and their duties as well, and it depends on
Yeah.
the day.
And then you
So,
can see who's not getting what done, which is if that is happening. And then you know, and then you can talk to them like, why? Are we just, do you need help? You know, whatever it is.
great.
Yeah, that's great.
So, and we use that with the daily planner
Yeah.
um, to get things out of our head and on paper. So,
That's huge.
awesome.
Yeah, if you do nothing else, just writing down a handful of things you want to get done um is so big. So, so big. So cool. Well, great to see you.
And
Thanks. Hope this was
awesome
helpful,
to see
guys.
you.
Yeah. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, follow, share. And if you have any questions about anything, we're happy to help you in any way we can. Have a great week and keep charging.